I was told, this is not your country. You have come here to work. You have no mother, no father in here. All you have is your office. And those are the lectures I received at the office or at the agents. Okay, my life was literally sold to this my boss. Don't ask me what was I thinking at that point, because I was empty, an empty vessel that could breathe. I was scared, of course, but I had no choice. At this point, I had nobody except God. So fast forward, my boss came with her family. Yeah, so she came with her family, a group of about like 7 people, if I may remember. They came, and amongst them there was an English lady. Yeah, she spoke English better, like she was an English lady. I think, I don't know which country exactly she comes from, but I remember she was an English speaking lady, which is the communication. So they asked me a few questions, and I remember her hearing her recommending me. Like, she was like, according to her interaction and the way she speaks, I think she's a good lady. But when they all say their eyes on me, they were like, wow, she's so young. Look, she's so young. And they made that exclamation in Arabic. But as I said, there was this English speaking lady, so she could talk to me and I could know what they're saying. Payment was done and everything. We entered the car and we drove, I don't know like how many miles, I don't know. We just drove and we reached this house, this apartment. We entered, and of course at that point you were literally how do we say this, like when you enter this family you become a tourist attraction. Like everything about you amazes them. A whole family, like all eyes on you. Words that you cannot understand, words that you cannot comprehend. Okay, being a housemaid or an immigrant worker is not a joke. It is not a joke. So at that time, you are a tourist attraction in a family. Everyone is looking at you. Everyone is just like, they are wondering what kind of a monkey you're. Like the skin, the hair. I had veiled myself. They told me, are you a Christian or a Muslim? I told them I'm a Christian. So they told me to put my veil off. My hair made them laugh. My skin color, the way I'm dressed, you know. But anyway, I was told to do the dishes. Yes, I did the dishes. One funny thing about Arabs is that you tell them nothing. When you have entered her house to work, you have literally entered her house to work. On the very first day, I was ordered to do the dishes and clean the sink, which I did, and I was served rice. Yeah, it was yellow rice and some stew, you know, like as if it was mashed tomatoes and everything. But I had to survive. At that point, I was just surviving. So I ate the food, and I cleaned what I cleaned, and then I was told to go, like to prepare myself. We were heading outside. I didn't know where we are going this time around. We entered the car, we drove again for some good time, and boom, we entered a very huge building. I was like, oh my goodness. So when we entered there, we met two young girls there, like in the age of I think 2 ladies, yeah. So young ladies who welcomed me in English. So they introduced themselves to me, and I introduced myself to them. So the lady, one of them told me, let us go, I show you your room. They showed me my room, and it was quite good, you know, according to the life back at home where we share a room as a family. This time around, I'm being shown a small room with a wardrobe, with a bathroom of my own. I'm given a key. I was like, wow, glory back to God. So after I went, took shower, I changed, and even the attires, like changing, I brought dresses, like each dress I put on, I try to put on, it simply makes them laugh. Like, guys, I can't tell you the amount of shame and the awkwardness you had to swallow at that point. It's unexplainable, because you come out, people laughing, you come, people looking at you. You are literally a tourist attraction at that time, and it's not easy. It is not easy, and it was never easy. So my boss, she went and got me some attires from their clothes, You know, they were in summer time, you know, the temperatures are high, and I'm literally putting on dresses. Long dresses. You know, the temperature in Africa is manageable, especially when you're coming to from a country like Uganda. We are a tropical country. We experience a very favorable type of climate. So you can imagine the dress code there. But here in Jordan, temperatures were high, hot. You know, so I was given some of their t-shirt and some pants, and I want to say this. I really thank God that family was really, really, really good to me. I bless the name of the living God who helped me, because that was my first ever time to travel outside as I'm an immigrant worker, and I landed into this family. However, that doesn't mean that I never faced any challenges. I mean, I faced a lot of challenges, a lot of regrets, but that family was really good. I thank God who gave me favor before their eyes when I started to work that very night, because at this point now it's already night, you know. I started work. I found that like it was a very huge house, like a mansion. I thought I had entered an executive house, like you know, a white house, because indeed it was a white mansion. I found a lot of utensils, dishes, dirty dishes, a lot. Like they had not done dishes for like several days because they knew that a maid is coming. So fun as it sounds, it's actually true. I did the dishes, cleaned everywhere, and had my dinner and went to sleep. And then my boss told me that I had to wake up at 8 a.m. Yeah, and I had to close duty at around 10, which was okay. And why wouldn't it be okay? Do I have a choice at that time? Of course not. All I had was to smile. When I went into my room, guys, I literally just lay down and I cried to God. As I said, at that time you have God. No communication from your family whatsoever. No, nothing. I cried to God. I begged for strength and favor. I slept. In the morning, I woke up. I went and did the cleaning. And my boss woke up around 9:30. She woke up. She told me, oh, brother, you had breakfast. As I said, it was a nice family. I had breakfast, and I thought, you know, I'd woken up and cleaned into the sitting room and everything. This lady told me, go and get this and this in the store, like cleaning stuff. I went and brought everything. I had to clean again. Don't say that you have cleaned without, like, she didn't see you, so everything is definitely that. Guys, that day I worked. I'd never worked like that day I worked. Like that day. I'd never. I worked to a point where I busted. I cried like a baby in front of her. My entire body was sore. And this lady could just tell you, do this, do that, do that, do that. Guys, in front of her, I busted and I cried. She looked at me and she was like, Frona, what happened? I was like, I'm tired. She told me, okay, go and take shower, refresh and come back. So I ran to my room. I cried. I went and take shower. I don't know how many times. I had to shower. Mind you, you're sweating. You are, should I say, a teenager? Yeah. So your sweat glands are active. That's another disadvantage at this point. Now you're making the house smell. Every time go shower, go take shower, go take shower. Guys, it's never easy. It's not easy. So I came back from my room, did the dishes. It was such a long journey. It wasn't easy, but by the grace of God, I managed. Like I snapped into, I learned everything, and within 3-4 days, I had mastered, you know, what to do. So after a week, actually, what had made the work so massive is that very week that I had came, that family was preparing a wedding. You know, they were preparing a wedding of their elder daughter. So you can imagine the house has to be shine clean. That's what made everything worse. So, but the lady, as I said, I prayed God to give me favor. So the lady saw that I was working good, I think, and she called me and she told me, you're doing good, you're doing great, I can see. So from now on, you're going to set yourself, like you're going to schedule yourself. All I want to see is my home clean. I don't want to see, touch anywhere where there is dust. I answered, okay, ma'am. So from 1 week, yeah, apart from that week, the rest I started to manage slowly by slowly. We finished the wedding, she went, and now the family number were they 8 people? So now they are 7. Yeah, because the children, how many? The children were like, let me see, 4, 3 boys. Yeah, 3 boys and 3 girls. Yeah, I think so. 3 boys, 3 girls, 6 children, mom and dada. So that's a 7, 8. Yeah. So a family now had become 7 people. Yes, because she had to travel to meet her man, you know. So which was good, which made my work actually a little bit easier, you know. So after she traveled, why don't I stop here? I come back in part 2 because this is a very, very long story. All I can tell you is stay tuned in, subscribe, like, and comment. Okay, you can follow my story on right here on Frola TV. I'm coming back with part 2. This is a very long video. Thank you.